Like she said, I'm from Bozeman, Montana, and this is my installation entitled Hooked on Svelte. And I did not drink all this wine or pop all these pills. I had help, so. I think this piece could best be explained. It's so complex that maybe interpretive dance might work, so if people want to come up and dance through here, no, I'm kidding. I like the way that this piece, the few times I've come over to see this work, people cannot help themselves from touching it. And I love that. These pieces can be touched, I don't mind that at all. But people cannot keep from touching it, even in a museum setting, so that's pretty cool. As you can tell, I like to use all kinds of materials in my work. And I can tell you about my 16-year-long relationship with twine. It's my very rough friend, if you ever have felt this. And this is all solid twine here, so these are all solid wrapped twine. And to date, counting these pieces, it's well over 100 miles of twine. So I've tried to learn all the ins and outs of a line, is what it really came down to. In my undergrad, I was interested in what I could do with a line three-dimensionally, and that's where these pieces started. The first pieces I did with twine as an undergrad got me an award at the International Sculpture Center for contemporary sculpture. So I've stayed with it, and you have to stick to stuff in art to really start to appreciate your materials. And it's about building that relationship with your materials for me. It's about a romance that goes on and on and on. So I have several different projects I do, and twine is one of them. Language is another, and I work with different materials in different ways, but I stay with them and I keep investigating and keep investigating. But this will probably be the last of the twine for just a little while, because I'm going to try with yarn next, and so I'm going to switch to wool and see how that works in my next series. The pill bottles are all recycled from shows I used to do about the pharmaceutical industry. The wine corks came from many friends who love wine. So I keep getting all these materials. People will drop off garbage bags full of materials for me to use. I have lots of materials. In fact, we're getting ready to move in just a couple weeks, and I have to carry all these materials with me, and you would not believe how much it is. Is there any questions first, what you're interested in knowing about them, or?
I have a question, actually. If you could touch upon the title.
Yeah, Hooked on Svelte. I am trying to redefine svelte in my own mind. So I've been working on this shape, and I'm not sure where it's going. I'm still working on it, this hanging shape. It's not the easiest for galleries to display or even museums, so I usually have to do the installations myself. But the hooks allow me to adjust to different size spaces. So I can make all the pieces about 8 feet and adjust the hooks to the size of the ceiling that I'm working in. And they're pretty lightweight, really. For shipping and things like that. So, any other questions?
And so how do you feel you're redefining the term svelte through these shapes?
Svelte, in my mind, yeah. I am looking at both the texture and the contradiction of textures in the piece. And I just wanted a sleekness of form. I wanted a repetition to come through. Yeah, that's about it. I'm not sure. I see all kinds of different reactions to it. There was just somebody was just trying to touch this, and it was creeping them out, that surface. But for me, there is a little conceptual message behind the pill bottles and having them hanging in your house like ornamentation, and thinking of my pharmaceutical shows and what I was saying about the industry as a whole. And then to have these come into the home now as art, I wanted to take it from that very serious installation. It was called Pharmacological, Can You Swallow This? And it was all about the healthcare industry. And then I wanted to do something completely different from that, just thinking of them as materials. They move. It's nice to have these swinging around. I like when people move through them because they bump them, and in my studio when I work on them, I'm always twisting them up and letting them spin around.
Do they hang close together in your studio?
Yeah, they do. My ceiling, definitely isn't this tall. My ceiling is about 12 feet, so.
Do you have more of these, or is this it?
I've made about over 40 of these so far, and like I said, I'm going to switch to yarn now and try making a few with yarn, a whole series of them in yarn, and see how those go. Still working on the form and the technique and the processes, because understanding how to wrap materials, it takes quite a while. You would think it'd be simple, but I have to transfer all my materials to sticks and then hand wrap. You can only wrap in one direction from small to big, and you're sculpting these as you go, so you want to work on the forms. All of this work down below is very time-consuming, tedious prep work, cutting copper, cutting tubing. This piece over here has over 300 feet of tubing on it. It just accumulates the mass of it all.
So why do you do it if it's so tedious?
Tedious, yes. It's about the work. There's a romance in the work. You get lost in the movement of your hands working, and you're able to just flow. Your thoughts just start to flow because it becomes an automatic thing after doing it thousands of times. You're still very aware of what's happening in your fingers, but you're also allowed to just go in your mind, and so it kind of opens you up. That's what, when I talk about the romance of making, it's like this twofold thing. It's becoming enveloped in the process, but then it also brings this kind of freedom of thought during.
Is the piece in the back an encaustic?
No, that is recycled newspaper with some translucent rubber, iron oxides, joint compound, and a torch. And it's hollow, so it's very, very lightweight. Very strong, too. Well, I would like them. I think the first thought is maybe wow, and then maybe I want to touch that. And then I wish it was I want to buy that, but so far it's been the first two steps, and then so maybe I'll keep working. I'll get to that third step.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, no, but thank you for coming, and I really appreciated the opportunity to show here. It was really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Bozeman.
Great.
Thank you.